Hello, everybody. This is Kristi Talmadge. I'm just going to check real quick to see if this link is working. I'm pretty new to this. It looks like it is, so I'm going to share it on Twitter and maybe somebody will join. And if not, I'm just going to continue on anyway. I have been up on Twitter for since about 2018, currently with this account. And I've been dabbling in citizen journalism. I'm from Connecticut, a very, I would say, left-leaning state. I think my politics, even though some of the progressive Democrats think that I'm too far right, my politics are actually center left, maybe a little bit center right when it comes to taxing and budgeting. I have an accounting degree and an integrated business degree. With background in project management. So sometimes when I see numbers getting floated in Congress or in the legislature state, you see that they don't belong there and that maybe they shouldn't be making certain expenditures or, adding certain taxes in certain places. So mostly center left, sometimes center right, depending on what it is. Let's see. I have on my profile page that I've been staring at every day for 3 years that I am a citizen journalist. 1A, absolutely support the First Amendment, especially where it concerns journalism. I see people getting censored in certain places, and it makes me nervous. I think when you start silencing or demoting opinions that you don't agree with that aren't necessarily wrong because it doesn't fit your narrative, I think that's bad precedent. I think that it should be open for us to have conversations, to debate things. And I don't think that you come up with good solutions unless you include the majority of voices. And that doesn't just mean the majority that's in charge politically. I think we need to talk to each other and listen to each other more. The news, I do like doing the news. There's a whole bunch of things. I mentioned politics, mental health, business, technology, sports. I like sports. The actual way that I first got into doing any citizen journalism was writing for a fantasy football blog, a parlay, fightingchancefantasy.com. My articles are gone, but I did hang out with them for a season and they taught me a lot. It was a lot of fun. And that's kind of what led me into thinking maybe I could do this. So what really sparked my interest is that I did watch the news, but not very much until about 2014 or so. And I started watching more often. And I noticed the bias, and I didn't like it. It wasn't just regular bias, a little this way or a little that way. It was a lot harder to the right or a lot harder to the left. And I just wanted the news. I didn't want everybody's this or that on it. So I started paying attention around my neighborhood more. And I had a therapist in East Hartford, and I used to take the bus down there. And one of the kids comes home that lives in my neighborhood in Weathersfield and Folleybrook Boulevard and says, you got to see this video. You got to see this video. He's freaking out and he's on the spectrum. So I'm just like, all right, calm down. Come on in. What you got? And he shows me this small plane that had crashed right next to Pratt and Whitney in East Hartford. And there's people screaming all around. Oh my God. Oh my God. And there's fire all over the place and people are running and they were scared, and I'm looking at how many cars were nearby and that if that plane had just gone a little bit to the left and hit the Pratt and Whitney parking lot during shift change, what a disaster that would have been. And it really freaked me out. So I helped calm my friend down. I told him, I promised him I would look into it. So that's what I did. And I went and I checked the news stations. And the news stations, they made a little this about that, said it wasn't terrorism. That's what the FBI said. And they just kind of let it go. And I'm like, what the heck? So this was before Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Actually, yeah. It was before they were taking down accounts of suspected terrorists or, murderers, or like they do the school shooting kids. Now they take down all their information before you have a chance to look at it, which does no service to journalists. Because I went on the person's website, Facebook page, who said that they said was committing suicide in this airplane that almost hit a bunch of people. And there were a lot of terrorist references on this kid's site. And I took screenshots of them and I posted on the news sites like WFSD and my locals. And I'm saying, what's going on with this case? Here's all this, information on Facebook and pictures and posts and everything. And the next thing I know, that school is closed down. The flight school that those kids were attending, by the way, they were on student visas, F1 flight visas from Jordan. That's who these kids were. And the FBI just shoved it all under the rug. And the news site said, oh, no, school's closed, and that's the end of that, and nothing happened, and no more further information. And I was like, are you kidding me? So that's what really got me into it, because I realized that the news wasn't going to tell you the full truth, and I decided it was my turn to look. I do not get paid by Coke Zero Sugar, but it is my favorite soda, so I'm going to drink some of that. Sometimes I talk fast. I get dry mouth. I need to drink. So that is pretty much why I got into citizen journalism. And then again, I was watching a lot of Fox News because that's what a lot of people were watching. So I put that on. And it really wasn't too terrible at first, but around 2017 or so, it started going way to the right. And the other stations had gone way too far to the left. And I was just done with it. I'm like, no, I can't. I just want the truth. So I started watching C-SPAN again, which I found to be helpful. And I started reading a variety of newspapers. And I found that, of course, I'm an IT chick. So I look on the interwebs and I find what else people are reporting about. And then you're able to come up with more of a whole story. And then I try to find other stories that aren't behind a paywall on Twitter to share so that other people can get a more broad view and overall understanding without too much bias to the right or the left. I am a lot of passionate. I'm a little quirky sometimes. I have a lot of passion, and I really do. I believe I see a lot of people, regardless of who is in charge or in having an argument with another country or when we're taking in refugees, and they say it's your country, stay and fix it. So in my mind, regardless of how much you might be frustrated with your government, and for me, in the United States, I have frustrations. I think our government could be run a lot more smoothly. I think the partisan bickering is terrible, but it's our country. So to me, if I want to make my country better, then here I get involved and I help share what's really going on and hopefully get people into conversations that aren't too partisan, because I know we have common ground on some things, and I like being able to try to build on that. Mental health. I am very big into mental health because I also have mental health issues. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder at 12 and have severe PTSD. With therapy, and especially I love DBT therapy, but if you're getting therapy and you're talking to somebody, that's the right thing to do. Don't let the stigma get to you. If you need help, get help. I will do anything I can almost to be able to get people to listen that the mental health system needs better funding. We have people, and it goes to a lot of what people complain about. People complain about crime. They complain about addiction, and the addicts are stealing. Well, we need rehab centers to put the addicted people in. And a lot of these addicted people are mentally ill. If you don't treat the mental ill portion of the problem, you're not going to have a lot of success in remedying the other problems. I mean, you're adding Band-Aids. We have a mental health system crisis in this country. I struggle finding help, and I know the system. So I know that adults, we have so many suicides. When they bring up those gun numbers, the majority of those gun deaths are suicides because we have a mental health crisis in this country. And it has been exacerbated by COVID-19 lockdowns and fear, the general fear that a lot of people have had of catching the disease and dying from it. Which is a whole nother conversation. If you want me to have a conversation on COVID-19 one day, I'll do that, but not for this video. Business, I have an interest in business before ending up on disability. I worked as an information technology project management consultant. So IT was my thing, but I was on the budgeting side and organizing the workflow and who was going to do what and making sure things got through, working with vendors, getting this, the staff in the different groups I needed. So it was more my business integration and accounting degree that helped with that portion of it, but I was in the IT areas. So my focus was on that portion of the business, which really covers most portions of the business now because everybody uses IT. I've consulted for Citigroup, Bank of America, Pfizer, Bristol Myers Squibb, United Healthcare, Cigna. And I've learned quite a bit over the years in those various positions, in those various consulting positions, on how a business works. Because back when I was doing it in the late 90s through about 2010, when I was working corporate, they didn't compartmentalize information the way they do now. If you were in IT, if you were an IT project manager, you had to understand how every portion of that business involved in that function, that functionality was affected by it. So they let you know everything. And you really learned, especially in the banks, how things work. So I really pay attention to what businesses are doing because I do think they take advantage of people sometimes, more than sometimes. And I think we probably could have, a few more regulations. The Republicans are going to smack me, but just on how people are treated on the customer side. And how we deal with supply chain issues and get them involved in that. I think there's more to discuss. And again, I'll be glad to talk about it more and make more videos. Just let me know in the comments and I'll do that. Sports. I am a huge Cleveland Browns fan. I have been since I was 12. My stepfather got me into football. He grew up in Akron, Ohio, and that's who got me watching it. That's who he was into, and that's who I was into forever. I even have, where is it? I have my handy dandy Browns hat that my friend got me for the Big E. So yes, and the Browns fan. I also love Tom Brady. So all you Tom Brady haters, he's the GOAT. And so I still watch the Pats because that's my second favorite team. But now Tampa Bay just slid into my third spot for as long as Tom Brady's on the team. Well, thank you. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Oh, our veterans. I really love our veterans. My godfather was a veteran, Andy Lotto. And my uncle was a veteran, Billy Nicholas. He is buried in the Veteran Cemetery down in Florida, in Sarasota, I believe. Sarasota or Bradenton. And they were both wonderful men. I like talking to the veterans anytime I get a chance, any chance. I just absolutely love them. I am so grateful for this service to this nation. They are wonderful people. I don't think they are always treated very fairly either. So I am very interested in veterans issues to try to help them out. Another thing that I'm pretty intent on is helping with homelessness and food insecurity. I volunteered for Food Share for about 15 years. And for the last few, I've been volunteering at one of the homeless outreach centers here in Bristol, Connecticut. And I absolutely love the clients. I love the people I volunteer with. It's cold outside. There are people that sleep outside in tents or in sleeping bags because we do not have the shelter capacity for them. So yeah, I do concern myself with their well-being because I think they deserve to be treated like human beings. And I know if I was outside right now in the freezing cold, it's 30 degrees outside, I'd be sad. Okay, so it was great meeting you all. Please leave me comments if there's anything you'd like me to talk about or blog about. Just let me know and I'd be glad to get on that. Have a great day. It was great chatting with you. Bye-bye.